This is the Scrap Metal and Commodities Recycling Report by Benlee, Roll-Off, Lugger, and Open Top Trailers and Raleigh Goldsboro Metal Recycling, May 31st, 2016. In this report, last week, commodity prices saw declines in many areas, but there was many major positive reports in the economy. U.S. steel production rose a bit and is near 9-month highs, which is a strong performance by absolutely any measure. Oil prices rose for the week and remain near more than 80% higher than they were just this past February. Note the far left of this graph, which is at a record level since 2003. This is unplanned oil pumping outages by OPEC and non-OPEC countries. Fires in Canada, political unrest in Libya, and militant attacks in Nigeria are causing oil disruption. Many people say prices rise when oil rises. Oil prices are up due to major disruptions, not, I repeat, not due to heavy metal demand. Metals are in full supply with very limited shutdowns that were done on purpose to get prices up. In fact, iron ore continues to flow, which could take steel prices down globally in the months to come. Despite higher oil prices, oil rigs, which use enormous amounts of steel, continue their relentless fall, having dropped more than 80% now in just 19 months. It remains unclear when oil drilling may increase in the United States. With that, U.S. ferrous scrap prices remained stable last week. Large amounts of junk cars and other scrap that was sitting for months hit the market in May. A question is, did that material fill the pipelines and will it cause prices to come down in June? Frankly, many believe that it will fall, and in fact, many scrap prices have already lowered prices. Note that general flows into scrap yards other than junk cars and demolition scrap remain better than 5 months ago, but frankly really not all that good. Hot rolled coil steel was up again and is now at a level not seen in about a year and a half. Tariffs are really helping steel mill profitability. Chinese steel production remains near all-time highs. Chinese use mostly iron ore and not scrap metal to make steel. So as Chinese excess steel floods global markets, that steel displaces steel that could have been made with scrap metal, therefore hurting scrap steel demand and scrap steel prices. 304 stainless scrap prices held near about 7-month highs, so no real change there. After weeks of falling, copper rose a bit for the week, but frankly, not all that much. It's interesting to note that copper inventories in LME warehouses remain near 7-year lows, which could reduce downward pressure on prices. Aluminum also rose a bit last week, but remains lower than a month ago. Yet, when we look at this chart, it shows inventories hit about new 7-year lows, which like copper could also mean reduced downward pressure. Durable goods orders, which include things like transportation equipment and machinery, rose to the highest level in April since January, which is great news for U.S. jobs. U.S. consumer sentiment in May rose to the highest level since January as well, which is a major positive economic indicator. Initial jobless claims fell again and are now below 300,000 for 64 weeks in a row, a really major positive. With many major positive indicators being reported, Janet Yellen, head of the U.S. Federal Reserve, said last week, I quote, "It's appropriate for the Fed to gradually and cautiously increase overnight interest rate over time, and probably in the coming months such a move will be appropriate." The product of the week involves another safety device. Tires come off trucks while driving remains a real issue that kills due to loose lug nuts and drivers not checking lug nuts for being tight and tires fall off. Benlee installs wheel checks as standard in all units. When all lug nuts are tight, wheel checks all point to each other. And now looking at this picture, when one wheel check is pointing in a different direction, it means the lug nut came loose. A great visual indicator. Wheel checks can be purchased for only 58 cents per unit in quantity from Benlee. With that, we hope all have a safe and profitable week. My name is Greg Brown.